I'm being honest, I had reached at about 348 was the highest weight I kind of saw on the
Wow.
scale. I am now at I fluctuate in between 179 and 189.
Wow. Hi, I'm Christian James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, we have a special guest. Natasha is here, and we are going to be looking at her health and wellness journey. What are some of the things that she has been able to overcome, and all the outcomes that she's looking to continue to get in the future. So with that being said, if you're interested in hearing her story, stay tuned. It's coming up next. All right, Natasha, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm honored.
It's our pleasure. It's my pleasure. One of the greatest benefits of building a community like AHA is being able to have people such as yourself come and share your story. You have no idea how inspiring these stories are. So, and I think that your story in particular is really going to touch a lot of people's hearts. I think that your story is going to resonate with our core demographic, and so I'm excited for people to hear it. With that being said, I always like to kind of talk just briefly, about some of the outcomes that you were able to achieve, just so that people can understand what they're going to be getting, what type of information they're going to be getting from this interview, and then we kind of will backtrack and start at the beginning. So, just off the top of your head, what are some of the things that you have benefited from your health and wellness journey?
Uh, the number one thing is clarity, mental clarity. I think prior to this journey, I it's fair to say that I had none.
Mm,
I always had a lot of brain fog. It was hard to make decisions. It was hard to even just the simple things, what to eat, when to sleep. But I've noticed I'm very quick to see something, make a decision, and move on. So the mental clarity has been amazing, and that I think that also ties into my procrastination has drastically reduced. Yeah. Um, I was a serial procrastinator prior to
mm,
this, and uh, it's very it's very apparent that that has changed. So I think those two jump off, and another benefit is just I really feel light, I feel healthy, and I feel great. That
Very smiley. That's good.
Yes, yes. I definitely have more smiling days than frowning days. So that my quality of life has improved
Mm.
in terms of mood. My mood has stabilized a lot. So that's those three are some of the core benefits that I'm experiencing.
Excellent. Yeah. So when I started my health and wellness journey, I actually probably about maybe 3 5 months in, I realized that my mood had changed. Like my attitude, I call it my rain cloud. I had a depression that I wasn't aware of, and but
Hmm.
I became aware of it when it lifted. And
Yes.
yeah, so that's one of the benefits of the health and wellness journey that I think a lot of people sometimes overlook. Um, and you can't beat mental clarity. I mean, that's going to help you in every aspect of your life. Like that's a holistic thing. So these are some
Yeah.
amazing tools. So let's go back a little ways, at the beginning of when you very first realized, oh, I need to make a change. What was the catalyst for you wanting to pursue a health and wellness journey?
Well, well, as a person that suffered from obesity for most of their adult life, I think I've kind of had moments where in and out moments where you feel the drive. This is the year I'm gonna do it, and you try whatever is out there. The trains, you jump on the trains, and I think the last straw for me was 2020, I had just returned from Zambia, my home country. I went to visit family there, and I came back and I had a hard time just doing anything.
Mm,
Breathing, my breathing was absolutely insane. I could hear myself breathing, and
mm.
that just got me wondering, like, if I can hear myself breathing so heavily and struggling, then other people must hear it even more. And I have two kids. At that time, my youngest was barely a year, and I figured I was going to give keto one last try. I had tried keto several times before that,
Yeah.
but this time around, I had read something about keto and fasting, combining it. So I came in with keto, and then slowly I would do the 16/8 fast with keto, and it started working. I started losing weight, but by April of 2020, I had lost interest. But I was liking the fact that the fasting was giving me less time to think about food.
Mm.
So then I
That's
looked further into it, and it led me to a healthy alternative. I
oh,
started watching the videos, and I realized it wasn't very keto oriented, but it was very heavy on the fasting part.
hmm.
So around May of 2020 was when I got introduced to the fasting lifestyle,
Okay.
and I just started with the baby steps. I would push for 12, and then 16, and then by the time it was August, I was feeling comfortable. I was
Mm.
joining in on the challenges that you guys post on the platform, and
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
yeah.
So I definitely want to get into how you found AHA and what that's been like for you. Well, first of all, you say you've been dealing with obesity like your whole life pretty much?
Majority of my adult life, I think that if I can go back as far as I hit puberty, that was around 12, 13. My
Okay.
weight just never, it was never the same. It just kept going up, 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 up. And so I
Where
would say majority of my time.
where were you living at that time? Like up until puberty, were you in your home country or
Yes, I was in Zambia up until I was 15. So I came to Canada when I was 15, turning 16. So the first three years after I had hit puberty, I started struggling with weight back home.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
back home. So
That's
um,
interesting. Because I
very
like the
interesting.
reason I ask is because what I have a lot of friends that come from different countries, and, just
Yeah,
all over. I've met a lot of people, and they all talk about how different the food is. So, and I know that a lot of them started, and these are more like in their adult age, but they started
yeah,
struggling with weight because of our food. Our food is really toxic, as many of us
yeah.
know. But so what are some of the what are some of the traditional foods that you all eat, and what do you think caused the issue? Because it's not just simply puberty, right? It had
Mm.
something else was there.
Absolutely. Like you said, you noticed your depression once it started lifting. I
Hmm.
started noticing the causes of my weight loss as I am releasing now.
Ah,
And yeah, and I think for me, in part, when I really sit down and look at it, I suffered from some childhood trauma that
okay.
was causing me to just be all over the place with my hormones, my emotions, and I am now a firm believer of weight is just more than what we eat.
Hmm.
I really believe that it is more than what we eat. There's a lot more depth to it, and I think I started dealing with those fears and feelings and pain at that age once I had hit puberty, and that initially just it sparked the weight gain instantly.
That makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense. And
yeah,
it's interesting that you mentioned that because I just did an interview with my brother John, and he told a very similar story. He actually had gained, I believe, if I remember correctly, 50 pounds in like a month and a half or something. And
true.
it was he was doing everything that he had been doing prior. So he was, he's exercising, he's fasting, he's eating right, and he gained the weight in spite of that. And as you kind of listen to a story unfold, it becomes clear that the issue was an energetic issue due to depression and trauma. This is why I love the holistic approach, because when
Yeah.
you have like a holistic approach and an open mind, you're not looking to like solve the problem one specific way. I think that we can be more efficient. And so um, I'm very interested to see how this story unfolds. So you start determining some of the issues as you were healing. Had you tried many other like diets and ways to lose weight leading up to finding HA?
I did, and that's I think the difference with this time around I found was fasting. I can't even start to tell you how grateful I am for finding the fasting lifestyle, because it was almost like the final nail that I needed to actually accomplish weight loss.
Mm,
When I look back, prior to all my attempts to lose weight before, I was doing things right. But I think what was missing for me was the spiritual aspect of it,
mm,
and fasting was the two that drove me to that point. And as of today, I look at spirituality as the core. It's like the core of my motor. It just helps me achieve everything, and weight loss is just part of it. So uh,
it's a cherry on top. It's just you
yes,
know
it's like it's the engine. That's my engine. Fasting is my engine, and it it's been an amazing too. I tried keto. Keto was the final diets that I did prior to intermittent fasting. Before
mhm,
then, I had tried the paleo diet. I tried the HCG drops. I
uh,
invested a lot of money into
yeah,
weight loss. I
yeah,
did pills. I did everything, drops, needles. Nothing worked.
wow.
Nothing worked until I found AHA. So
Hey, this is this is what I like to hear. Um,
you guys, you guys are doing a lot more than you know. So thank you.
No,
Thank you for
listen, the pleasure is mine. Being able
that.
to have these interactions are just they are my fuel. Being able to know that I'm having an impact in somebody's life, like the work that we are doing, is helping people, even people that I'll never meet or even know. It really does fuel me because um, that was my vision for AHA. So with that being said, you mentioned that you have found AHA after kind of getting tired of keto. And what was your experience like within the community? And I think you had mentioned that you even joined some of our fasting challenges.
You can tell, like, coming from a keto mindset and coming to AHA, it's kind of like a very heavy transition, because majority of AHA members follow kind of plant-based eating and
Mhm.
very holistic eating. The start of that, I really struggled, because I loved the meat, I loved the abundance of fat, and to fully commit to a plant-based diet, I still struggle now, but I've just learned to create a balance.
Mhm.
But the people in AHA were very supportive, I should say respectful, because they would try and educate me on how eating a meat based diet was counterproductive to my
Mm.
progress, like the gains that I actually wanted to see out of fasting.
Mm.
So I struggled transitioning, but I found that just seeing people post their how they broke their fast appropriately and the gains they were getting, I slowly started following, and I realized, okay, if I'm going to put in an effort into fasting for 24 to 72 hours, I'm not going to break my fast like a fool. because because I'm putting in its work and effort,
Hmm.
and my body too needed to receive the right nutrients after fasting.
Hmm.
So just being surrounded by a community that could display ways on how to do it properly without judgment,
Hmm.
for me was just like, okay, I found my sweet spot because I can make mistakes and then I can also receive help without feeling attacked. So
Yes, that.
that was nice. And I found it inspiring that people that had never done fast before would just jump in and they would share their stories on how they would be doing a 21-day fast without preparation, without anything. So that gave me some gas on just knowing I could do 48 hours. I could do
Hmm.
72 hours. And even though I stumbled sometimes, I would take a bite. Maybe I'm making my kids food and stuff. And
Yeah.
I would see people have similar struggles and they would be like,
Hmm.
oh, it happens. You'll get through that. You can do it. You can do it. So great community. I found strength in the beginnings through the members and the platform.
That's amazing. I love
Yes.
how the strength of the community, because you know, I think a lot of people do get benefit from the community. It's probably our greatest asset, but people don't highlight it as much. So it's awesome to hear from the perspective of somebody who comes into the community and what the interaction is like. You know how beneficial the community is. As a matter of fact, we actually started our own membership. We have a free membership on our own platform because I think that you were in the Facebook group, but we created a platform specifically for AHA members, and it's called ahacommunities.com. And so,
Okay.
yeah, if you're not already in there, I definitely want to invite you to join. It's an amazing space,
Absolutely.
and what we've started doing is we started hosting our challenges there. So,
Okay.
as admins or leaders of the community, we're able to communicate with you guys now because Facebook has been making it very difficult for very many years. Um,
Yes.
yeah, so I personally, like, this is a me thing. I love interacting with the community, and I haven't been able to do it like I used to be able to do it in the past. So I
Okay.
love now that we have our own platform. So please definitely come and join us there if you're not already there.
I
Um,
would love to check it out.
Excellent. So, I don't know if you want to share what was your highest weight and how much weight you were able to lose.
Um, the peak of my weight gain was in 2020. I think if I'm being honest, I had reached at about 348 was the highest weight I kind of saw on the
Wow.
scale.
Mm.
I love taking pictures of my weight, but when I saw that, I said no. I said no. I'm not taking a
Not
picture
taking
of
that.
this.
That's not okay.
I was in denial. I am
Mm.
5 flat. Some
Okay.
people say 4'11. I say 5'0". So
Four and 9 quarters.
there we go. So I am very short, and my frame at 348 is it's the weight is unbearable. Like
Mhm.
every aspect of my body just
Mm.
was in pain, and I am now at I fluctuate in between 179 and 189.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, and it's been gradual. It's been very gradual.
Beautiful.
Sometimes when I do prolonged fast, I'll drop to like 174. And then, of course, when you start eating again, you build back that weight a little bit.
Mhm.
And but yeah, I'm up into the 150 plus in terms of total weight lost.
Wow, that's incredible. And the slow weight loss is the best, I think. I think
Yes,
when I look at people who have achieved like large amounts of slow weight loss, they tend to maintain better because the slow weight loss typically comes from some lifestyle change. Whereas if you lose it really fast, you could do like a 90-day fast and lose 90
and
pounds.
losing.
You know what I mean? But if you haven't changed the lifestyle, it's harder to maintain. So,
Absolutely.
um, I know that you mentioned that you have a couple of children, and I'm curious to know what was your experience like, just going through the pregnancy, and childbirth, and did you see any fluctuations in your mood, your weight, anything significant that you experienced during that time?
Yes. Before I had my first child, I never really struggled with anything like depression or anxiety or anything, unless I was not aware of them. But it became very um, significant. Like it was I was unable to ignore it when I got pregnant. So most people suffer from postpartum. I had like prepartum depression.
Mm,
Like during the pregnancy, the fact that I was pregnant put me in a depressive state. So
wow.
um, that was like kind of the beginning of the heavier climb. At that
Mhm.
point, I think I was already at 255. I maintaining at 255, and by the time I was in my second trimester, my weight had already climbed up to like 290.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and then by the time I was delivering, like my depression was full on flared, and it
Mm,
started declining after childbirth. And you get into other struggles like nursing your child, which is
mm.
very energy demanding. So I had to eat more. I had to
Oh,
eat more, and
yeah.
the weight kept creeping up. I kept creeping up, and after my first, I worked out again and brought it down as much as 275. And then I went into the second pregnancy, and depression hit again
Mm,
during my pregnancy, and it peaked. It never came down until the middle of 2020 when I had found fasting.
mm.
So pregnancy
Um,
for me triggered a lot of weight gain, and it brought on a lot of anxiety and depression. I became very aware of those two ailments
mm,
at the start of pregnancy, and I tried antidepressants. And of course, if anybody knows antidepressants, they don't help you as much. They caused me to gain more weight, or my weight would
yeah.
fluctuate really badly, and then it would create other illnesses for me. So
It's a perpetuation of a negative cycle.
yes,
Yeah.
you
Um,
take this, and then it leads you to that. So I was starting to be on a lot of medications,
mm,
and I didn't like it. By 2020, I kind of decided I wasn't going to do any more antidepressants or anything. That's what motivated me to find a permanent solution, because where I was headed was very grim. It
yeah.
was grim, and I wasn't ready to go there.
Yeah. No, you definitely that's a tough cycle, and so many people suffer. This is one of the reasons why I really wanted to share your story, because I'm sure your story sounds like hundreds, if not thousands, of other women that are
True.
watching. And
Mhm.
there's a couple things that I have learned about the body, pregnancy. Um, a lot of people, I don't think they realize during pregnancy what the body does is it begins detoxing. So if you have traumatic issues, if you're not mentally sound, if you've got physical issues, a lot of these things will become prominent during pregnancy, which is why pregnancy is so rough for women, oftentimes.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
one of the best things we could do is get ahead of it. Like, nowadays, a lot of people, they'll kind of plan when they want to have children and stuff like that. if you can get ahead of, you know, before you actually conceive, you want to get your health journey going and use that as maybe a catalyst for starting your health journey, because it'll make your
Mhm.
pregnancy much easier. And
And
I've been
more enjoyable.
much more, I mean, you'll get, because like it's a beautiful process. And
Yes.
you know, it's supposed to be enjoyable, not, it's not supposed to be a struggle. I think a lot of women believe it's supposed to be hard, but it isn't. We just don't do it really well nowadays. And
I
that's
wish
not
I
necessarily,
knew.
yeah, there's a lot of forces at work creating this. I think, I don't know. I don't want to get into to too off track, but I feel like there is an agenda that somebody doesn't really want us reproducing. So they do everything in
Yeah.
their power to make the process as difficult as possible in ways we would never even imagine. Um, so, and then also with the, you know, a lot of women, when they start breastfeeding, the milk production, that's a concern. And one of the things I learned was fennel essential oil is amazing for getting milk production up. So that's just a little
Didn't
tidbit
know
for the women that are,
that.
yeah.
I did
Um,
not know that.
Listen, listen, we have learned so much because I've got the chance to work with a lot of pregnant women. We've had a lot of women who joined who were infertile. They were told they were infertile and they've been trying to conceive for years and they couldn't. And then they started fasting, diet change, and now they're pregnant. So uh
Fixing the fixing the
yeah.
nation. They're doing great.
Yep, excellent. So I'm curious now to maybe get a little bit more nuanced into um you know what it is you were doing to rectify these issues. Obviously we know you were doing fasting, but people like to know, you know, what type of fasting was more prominent, if you were using like a certain technique, and maybe what are some of the dietary changes that you made, like more specifically, because I know that you said it's been kind of a gradient that you've done. So
I like to look at my weight loss as a 360. Like I dabbled in everything that I thought was going to be good for me. And again, it was more mental. I had to like dive into my mind and kind of reprogram myself. So the fasting was helping me dive into my mind, because the more I decided I wanted to fast for longer hours, the more my mental grew and it became more strong, and I could actually think and figure out things that were beneficial for me and healthy for me.
mhm.
It's like the body knows what's good for you. We just don't listen. We
True,
just
true.
don't listen. It
That's very
tells
true.
you. It tells you. So my approach in the beginning was just kind of as far as I could go in terms of how many hours. I had downloaded the Life app. Again, I saw something on AHA, and people were using that, and I went and downloaded that. Just seeing the red really drove me. Like I wanted to
Mm,
see the red circle rings as often as I could, So it got me pushing past 16 to 18 hours to 20 hours, and then I joined the OMED bandwagon. When I found OMED, it's when things really clicked for me. That's when I really started seeing steady weight loss. Just of course, in the beginning I didn't know anything about properly breaking a fast,
mhm.
so I would do OMAD, and then when I had to eat I would just go crazy. And then I would feel sick, and then I'd be like, why did I do that? So, and then I would say, you know what, but I feel good. The times that I was fasting, I was feeling really
Mhm,
well-rounded, well-balanced. I could think clearly. And I noticed my anger started coming down. I didn't even
mm,
realize I had anger. So Omar taught me to just be patient, because I would be angry and then I wouldn't have energy to react to certain things. So I would
mm,
just leave it alone. And then I mastered the courage to do 36 hours. There were a few people there's still a few people in AHA that do 36 hours. Like it's almost like an alternate day fasting, I think.
Yep.
So I joined on that, and then I would just see inches were dropping, and then weight would stand still when I was doing 36 hours. And then I progressed from 36 to 48 hours. I just really went gradual. I didn't start running. Yeah, I took baby
Gotcha.
steps. I took baby steps from one window to another, one window to another. And I had to make sure I was comfortable on every window that I went next to. I wouldn't really rush to jump to the next one, because that would send me back, and then I would struggle building back to it. So I went from 36 to 48 hours. 48 hours, and this was like within months, like months. Maybe I'll give
Okay.
one cycle a month or a couple of weeks, and then move on to the next. And by 2021, I was comfortable with doing 48 to 72, maybe like twice or three times a month. I could do
Nice.
that. Yeah, so almost like every week I would do some form of fast. When I started doing 48 to 72 was when I realized that my body started calling for proper ways to break out the fast.
Mm.
I started craving vegan food. I just started craving vegan food, and I had no say whatsoever. I had to eat vegan food because I wanted fruit. I wanted raw veggies. I wanted like uh, like cooking became a problem because I didn't want cooked food.
Wow.
Yeah, and and you have to keep in mind that I also had small children that need to eat cooked food. So
Uh,
like the smell of cooking food just threw me off. It was almost like I was healing, like my body was telling me don't do certain things because that's
mm.
not what we need right now. And I think it was around that time, so a year from May 2020 to May 2021, I had kind of done the smaller fast and just jumping from one window. Come May of 2021, I think my spirituality kicked in.
Mm.
I did a 7-day fast, and I never came back after that.
Yeah.
Whoever I left behind after that fast, that was the end of it.
That was it. Yeah.
I had very vivid dreams. I think I remember having a dream like I felt like I was talking with my grandmother, and she was just telling me I needed to take care of my health.
Mm.
And it was so vivid because my grandmother passed in 2018. But during my first 7-day fast, I almost had a very weird experience where it was like I had met her and we sat down and we talked, and she was telling me I had a responsibility, I had a moral obligation to take care of my health because I had generations to see ahead of me, and it just woke me up. It woke me
Wow.
up, and I said, I have to do this. I have to do this because it was important. She told me it was important. It was her job prior, but now it was my job. So from that point on, as of May 2021, my journey completely became spiritual.
Mm.
I started meditating more. I found that the sun was calling more to me. I started making sun water. I
Ooh.
started making moon water. I don't even know where it came from, but it just kind of clicked. I knew that I needed to have sun energy in my water because it would do certain things for my body. I also realized the moon was also as important for me as the
Mhm.
sun, and movement had to be incorporated because spirit was telling me you have to move your body, like your body has to be in motion.
Mm.
It's just how it was designed. So I picked up walking at that point. I was still heavy, so I just started out with maybe 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. And by the end of 2021, I was doing 20 kilometers,
Wow.
25 kilometers. And now I'm like pushing to do quarter marathons, and just like I keep pushing myself.
Wow. 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 What
Yeah.
an
And
incredible journey.
yes,
Like
it's been,
this is it's amazing. I wish everyone could see this video, because so many people think that they have to push, 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 fast, fast, fast. I love how you took your time and how you allowed yourself to get used to a certain protocol before you went on to the next one, and you didn't go leaps and bounds. You just 48 hours or 36 hours. No. You said you started with like 16, and then
16.
yeah, and it slowly increase. And you're not competing. You're not competing with anyone. And I think that by doing it this way, you were able to well, there's two things. Number one, when you do it this way, because you're not doing like a crazy fast, when you make mistakes, they're not as impactful, right? Like,
Truths.
'cause if you were to do like a 15-day fast and come off and break it poorly with, poor eating habits, it's way more detrimental than, 36 hours. So that's one
Yes.
thing. But then also, obviously, you've had the opportunity to, like I mentioned early, shift lifestyle slowly but surely, and then eventually getting to the place where your body started telling you what you needed, and you started craving good things. This is exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
When I like the whole sun water technique, that I didn't read that anywhere. It was intuitive. I was just like, I need to put my water in the sun. It's going to charge it. It's going to do something. I got to get energy from the sun.
Yeah.
And then when I looked it up, I found that very few people in the past had really talked about it at that time. You see it all
Yeah.
over the place now, but at the
Hmm.
time, it was very few people on, especially on YouTube. I'm sure books. I'm sure it's in books. Um, so that's an amazing journey.
Yeah. It's
I
it's
want
it's been like I get downloads. I don't know if you experience that. Like you just get, especially following a fast, it's like it's almost like a reward after your fast. It's like, here, that's your information.
right.
This is what you need to do.
Yeah.
You've earned
Yes.
that. Now
Yes.
do what you must with it, and then you apply it. And it's true. Like I don't know, half the time I don't know what I'm doing, but when I look back and I look at the things I'm doing, it's incredible that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like,
Mhm.
how do I know that? I don't know. I don't know.
It's a down. Well, like you said, it's a download. So you get energy from the sun. Light is data. So for those who aren't familiar, the in America at least, the new internet is fiber optics. I'm sure it's everywhere, but
Yeah.
fiber optics is light. The way it works, it's light running through glass. So all of the data it's light. And when you think about sun, the sun is our life force. And so all of the energy, like all the trees, all the plants, all the animals, they all get energy and information or data from the sun. And so when you make it a habit of connecting with the earth and connecting with the sun, it seems to be more prominent, these downloads and things. So you've probably seen it happen more frequently, but also there's an awareness of it that happens. Because even when you're eating bad, you still get these downloads. It's just we're
Yeah.
not aware of it. And so it seems like with fasting, you get the mental clarity and you become aware of it, and then you start paying attention, and then you start to be able to like use it. You know when it's happening. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that your dream or your vision with your grandmother, you say your grandmother, right?
Yeah. My grandmother, my
I
maternal grandmother.
I think that that was more than just a simple dream, because I believe that the energy from people, our elders, it doesn't just go away. I
It's
think that you
huge.
were, So we're on the same page. Um,
Yes, no, I've gone so spiritual. Most people think I'm going crazy, but it's just I don't go looking out for those things. They just come to me.
mhm.
They just find me.
Just be open and just take it. Be open and take
Yes.
it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Um, you had mentioned that during some of the shorter fasts, you were seeing the inches coming off, so your body was doing a lot of contouring. I'm curious to know if you want to talk about, did you, because you lost nearly, you said 150 pounds. Did you
Yeah.
deal with any loose skin?
I think before I started this journey, I just knew I did not want excess skin. I knew I had a lot of weight to lose, but
Mm,
I knew I could not handle uh, excess skin, so I could not do it as I used to do before, like fast. I gotta lose weight by this much, then by this date, and I have to
mm,
lose this many pounds. I knew I had to abandon that concept because I've seen firsthand, even with our AHA members, people have kind of done this extreme fast and then they just have excess skin. So, in part, what motivated me to go gradual was to allow my body to just conform to my bonds and like to just grow into my skin
mm,
as easy as possible, because it took me so long to get to 348.
mm.
If I had rushed it, I would have insane amount of loose skin. I still do because I've carried two full term
Right, right.
pregnancies
Hmm.
on my tummy area, and it's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Right, right.
Yeah, I can still wear whatever I want. It's just that when sometimes, when you're hanging a certain way, you do get the little excess jiggles and stuff.
Right,
But
absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
but
when
that and fitness, I think the walking really kept me toned. Like I walked a lot and it kept me toned. And when you combine walking and prolonged fasting, I found that was a very sweet spot for me. So
mm, yeah.
walking in a fasted state was absolutely excellent for my skin. So I don't struggle as much. I can't really say I have loose skin struggles, but my breast really disappeared. They just completely disappeared, which makes sense to me because I'm coming off from nurturing kids. So majority of my fat was in my breast area for milk production. So
Mm,
losing all of that would take that away. So that's okay.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Um, that I think that's extremely insightful. A lot of people have that fear of loose skin, and the loose skin that we talk about is 20 pounds, 30 pounds of loose skin. When people lose that much weight, that's what they see, especially using traditional methods. And
Yes.
I've been trying to tell people, listen, we got a secret over here. There is a way to lose large amounts of weight without that traditional loose skin, where a lot of people go get surgeries. You
Yeah.
don't have to risk yourself on a surgery table if you do it the right way. So I
True.
love highlighting that, and I love that it was a concern. So you put your intention into it, because I think that's going to help a lot of people, especially women, especially women.
Yes. The slower the better. Like if you don't want loose skin, do not take off running. Just start walking. Just start walking. You'll get there eventually. I mean,
And
I
that's
still
that.
have about 40 pounds left, so I'm taking my time.
Take your time. Take your time. Listen, there's no rush, because guess what? As soon as you start taking a step in the right direction, you're becoming more healthy. So once you start making those changes, you're no longer walking. We call it the hell path. You're no longer walking your hell path, and now you're on your heaven path. And even if it takes you, 2 years to reach whatever goals you've set for yourself, you're not getting worse. So it
Yeah.
really, yeah, it really works in your favor, for many different reasons. And then the insight. I think that I think that the insight that you gain from doing it slow, and the benefits that you recognize from doing it slow are not enough people understand the impact, because the biggest issue people have with this is maintaining. Sometimes people can maintain for a few months or even a year and then they fall off. It happens. But when you
Yeah.
do it like at this pace, you learn so much about yourself. Like you said, after your 7-day fast, you became a different person. Um, a lot of people don't even realize that different lengths of fasting give you different results because they haven't spent enough intimate time with the process. So the way you did this, I think it resonates with me a lot because I learned a lot of the similar things by going through my process, and it was much slower than what we've seen on the channel. So um,
Yeah.
this was
I
this was a
mean,
go ahead.
I'm saying I like to say that I lost a lot more than just weight
Mhm.
following this method, because following that 7-day fast, I truly feel like I had I had just started leaving. That's the experience that I came out of from that fast. It's like I had left the outer shell that I was.
Mhm.
Everything. It was almost like I had to learn everybody around me. I had to learn my family all over again. I had to learn my children all over
Wow.
again. I had to learn myself. Unfortunately, I had to walk away from my marriage because it was at that point where I realized like I was in something that I had never really thought about prior to
Mm.
to that moment. It was, simply put, I had an awakening when I had that 7-day fast.
Yeah.
And it's so sad because I lost so many things that I knew my whole life. But I like the way I see it now is those things were part of my unconscious self. But now I'm
Mm.
conscious and I'm trying to enjoy this new part of my life where I kind of am aware and I'm in tune with everything. But I have so much respect for fasting. I didn't realize it could literally dig you out of such a deep sleep. I was in
Mm.
deep sleep,
Wow.
and I feel awake now. I feel awake. Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling. And the greatest highlight here is when you do other diets, because there's a lot of different ways you could lose weight. When you do other diets, you don't necessarily get all of this insight. There's so much, like you said, there's so much more benefit to fasting than just simply losing the weight. But I like to use the weight as a like a dangling carrot to get people to start walking the path.
To
And
come in.
then
It's your
I,
bait.
we're
You
real.
bait them with weight.
We're gonna reel you in with the weight loss, and then because of the methods we use, then you're gonna get so much more out of it. Um, did,
Absolutely. That
did,
worked. I'm here today because of
yeah.
that.
And that the funny thing is, I struggled with that because I knew the benefits of fasting were so much deeper than weight loss. So when I very first started teaching it, I didn't really want to highlight weight loss. I would actually go out of my way not to talk about weight loss as much. I mean, we still talked about it, but it wasn't like I didn't do my videos like, oh, this person lost 100 pounds. But then what I noticed was people really gravitated towards those videos and it would grow the
Yes.
community. And then, of course, we started getting crazy testimonials. So, it was good that I made that shift because I was trying to teach it a certain way and it wasn't the right way to get the community way we needed to get it. Um,
It's true. And I
so
realized that not everybody awakens because they take the fasting approach. Some people just really lose weight and it
mhm,
ends there. But I feel so fortunate and so blessed that it led me to my spiritual path, because now I have like a whole path I didn't know existed before, and
mm,
it's been there all along. I just needed to learn to go without food. That's
right,
all.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That food it distracts your gut, which is your mind. Your mind is always distracted digesting food, and it's cloudy. Um, I want to highlight some of your. You said did you actually participate in what, a 21-day challenge?
No, I could not.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
could not.
I got.
I did. I think the longest one I did was the rolling 5 twos. I did
Oh,
it for about I think 3 consecutive weeks. So I joined it for the month. I think unfortunately it was I think it was before the passing of one Michael. Is it Michael, the guy that started those? And yeah, so I was part
Michael.
of Michael's group
Oh,
that
okay.
would do that. Yeah, God bless. Like he was a gift
Yeah.
to the community, and just seeing him push and inspire us that way, like he got me into 3 weeks in a row of
Wow.
doing rolling 5 2, and I shaved a lot. I shaved a lot of weight, and what was fascinating is none of that was coming back once
Mm,
I went back to my normal routine of OMAD and stuff. It just I lost that weight. It never came back for the 3 weeks that
wow.
I did the rolling fives. Yeah,
Mm.
and um,
That's such.
I'm hopeful. Maybe one day I'll be able to do a 21-day fast. I'm hopeful.
I mean, I don't see why not.
Yeah,
Take your time. Get there when you get there. One of the
true.
benefits of doing the longer fast is you just see different things happen. Like you had mentioned, your spiritual journey kind of unlocked at 7 days. Um,
Yeah.
so the longer fasts definitely do. There's benefit to them, and I love to see that Michael's legacy lives on through you. Because that really hurt me when he passed, and it's
That
amazing
was
to
a big
see.
loss. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing to see that the work that he did, it still lives on. That's I didn't even expect that. I didn't know you were part of his group, so that's amazing.
I was one of the people that benefited from his effort, because he was very committed. He was very dedicated to it, and it was in part due to the results that he was seeing. And I'm so
Mhm.
grateful that I got to I got to be one of those products that he touched and motivated to carry on. So
Yeah,
I'm very he may not be part of us, but a part of him stayed behind for me. I
absolutely.
can always remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, I will always remember him because he came to our first event was back in 2019, and it was
Oh.
a crazy day for me. Like everything was going wrong, and I'm introduced. I think I was introducing one of the speakers or something. I don't remember, and I was just like, listen, I just want you all to know that I appreciate you all coming out and being patient with us and blah blah blah. And Michael, because I hadn't met him, I didn't know him at that time. Michael yelled he said, "No, Chris, thank you." And he started clapping. And yeah, he was just a great dude.
That type of
Um,
dude.
so I wanted to maybe get a little bit of an idea. I know you've kind of already hinted at it up until this point, but do you have some goals, or how are you going to continue to move forward? Like, what's your plan for the new year, and how you're gonna approach your health goals?
I actually woke up early today to kind of draw out a map plan for 2023. 2023. Officially, I celebrate my new year in spring, but just to kind of get me going between now and March. For me, it's more of just continuing what I'm already doing.
Mm.
So I'm at OMED right now. That's my comfort zone. I eat OMED at the end, towards the end of the day. Um, I struggle eating more than once. It's just
That's a good problem.
it's a new struggle for
Yeah,
somebody that used to just think of food and breathe food. Like,
yeah.
I love to see that. I'm like, I really can't eat right now because there's
Mm,
no need to eat right now.
mm.
So just continuing that and just making sure that I'm moving, I'm doing some movement, at least 3 to 4 times a week. I don't go to a gym right now. It's winter here, and I'm not mobile, so my
Mhm.
workout is at home. It's
Yeah.
at home, and I've reached a point in my mind right now where it's not about if I'm going to do it, it's when I'm
Mm,
going to do it. I've just put it in my mind. It's just like going to work every day. You have to go to work. I've taken that same mindset and I've applied it to my eating and my fitness. It's something that must be done so that I can be up and healthy to go to work.
mm.
So they go hand in hand. So I would like to continue fasting OMAD, and come spring, I would like to go back to maybe some 48, rolling 48, or rolling 72s, not for weight loss, but just for spiritual reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I find I accomplish more things in a fasted state.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but when you're in a fasted state, you tend to manifest crazy things. and I would like to continue doing that. That's kind of my game plan for 2023.
Mm,
I would love to see myself at 155 pounds. So that gives me about 30 to 40 pounds more to lose. I have no timeline for that. It's just
mm.
something I want to allow to gradually happen. Yeah.
You're moving in the right direction. You're going to get there eventually. I think that that's an important mindset to have. You mentioned, people put, I got to go to work every day. People will be consistent and go to work every day, but then when it's something that's going to benefit your health and wellness, your legacy, which is important, how do we put that on the back burner? So yeah, keep that, as they say, keep that same energy. That keep that work energy and work towards your health and wellness, and it really helps because eventually you become more efficient at work and business, and
True.
you know yeah.
I need to work out so I can be very productive at work and, chase after that money and get my bread. They go hand in hand, and I never realized that until
Yeah,
recently. Like, the
same
more
with me.
healthy you are,
Hmm. Yeah,
like the more you are visible.
I, I I thank you for saying that, because like I said this a long time ago, but people don't be listening to me, but they'll listen to you though. It's like it's
So people like you're a guru at this point, and most people, we don't listen to the guru because we forget that you went through a similar journey. Now you're just an expert.
right.
But I think you've surpassed the challenges, you've overcome that, and now you're teaching. And
Yeah,
people don't always want to learn from the teacher, which is funny
it
because
is.
that's the whole reason you're here, to help to help teach us. Yeah.
Well, I,
But
I have found a unique way to facilitate the information through doing these interviews, and people learn so much and they're inspired so much. And I know they're going to get a tremendous. This was really deep. A lot of information that I think is going to resonate with people on a different level. So I really appreciate you coming and spending the time with us, and I cannot wait to get this out so that people can react to it. Did you? I don't know. I'm just putting this out there. I don't know if you want to even share like your social media or anything. If people want to get in touch with you, people always have like follow up questions and things of that nature. If you want to add that, you can, but you don't have to.
absolutely. Coming from where I'm coming from, I would have loved this type of help from anybody. Like, I remember years back, like I would, when I see somebody posted before and after, I would like try and track them down and try and get as much information as I could. But some people are not very open or willing to share what they went through. But
Mhm.
I'm always happy to share, because for me, it's always a plus when people think I did weight loss surgery, because of the amount of weight I've lost during this time. So it's almost like a compliment.
Yeah.
So when I tell them what I have done, most times I kind of get a little bit of disbelief, like,
Yeah.
are you sure? Are you sure this is what you did?
Yeah.
It can't be that, but I would love to just help people as much as I can, just guide them through the baby steps that I started with. Like, nothing crazy, of course,
Hmm.
but absolutely, I would be open to that.
Okay. Are you on Instagram or are you just on the Facebook group or where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. My handles are the same as Facebook, so it's Queen Fit Tasha on Instagram and Facebook. And I used to do YouTube videos way back, different topic. Also, I think it would be Queen Fit Tasha, but I haven't posted in a while. I was thinking maybe I could just start sharing a few tips on what helped me, but I'm not, I guess social anxiety. I guess
Uh,
social media anxiety on
uh,
YouTube. Just YouTube. I don't
that's
know why.
interesting.
Other areas I'm good. Yeah.
That's actually interesting because I get it on TikTok. So I know
Oh.
what you're talking about. Yeah, I get it. I get it on TikTok. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like other platforms I'm okay, but
Yeah,
YouTube just gives me different vibes.
I,
Different
I
vibes.
I completely understand. Um,
But I can be reached on Instagram and Facebook. Those are okay.
awesome. Listen, once again, I appreciate you coming and sharing, and your willingness and desire to want to help others. You are a woman after my own heart. Because when I created the group, my goal was to impart information and wisdom, and the hope was that when people got that information, they would then share it with other people. And so, I love that you're doing that and you're willing to do that. For those who are watching, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos like this, we got more interviews coming. Subscribe. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And we will see you all next time.